Well, all right. I'm back for the last 30 minutes. Pretty slow day. Of course, we didn't have any, we only had a couple of dividend payers today. Huge haul there at $3.80. We sold a one position in RC at 8.55, and we picked up some more shares of JQC and BTZ. Both of those are CES. We'll go through those. Where were they at? They're on these accounts. See JQC. Yeah, there's JQC there. You can see the blue triangle. That tells us where we got in. See, it's down, but we don't care where it's going. We're just following our plan, following our rules. Might be a little easier to look at it on these charts. So you can see if we scrunch it down a little bit, we can see what everything looks like. That's where our original dollar cost was. So we ended up picking up another 33 shares. Brings it down just a little bit. That's putting our closest to our mark. But we still have additional 23 shares we can pick up. This is constantly changing, so it's kind of it's a moving target, but it keeps you keeps your risk in check. So we like that. Obviously, the more shares that you've got, the more dividends that you're going to be making. What's this going to haul in? 681. Well, we have 310 multiplied by 0.0681, so it's going to be 2111 per month going forward. It's just one. You start adding these up, get into the hundreds, you'll figure out that it adds up quick. So our target's 81 cents or 82 cents above our average price, so it's going to be 784, 785, somewhere in that range. So we go over here to BTZ. So we picked up, make sure if we picked up an additional 17 shares of BTZ, and we're starting to get the market to turn a little bit for us, which is good. You can see it just moved our sell limit down, but also it moved our average price down. That was a true dollar cost average there. This is a fairly new position. All right, so we go through this. So we don't know, it can come down, and we benefit from the move down because with dollar cost average, when we get down to where the system tells us, hey, this is where you buy next, right? We don't have to think about it. We don't have to look at candles. We don't have to look into the past. We just basically know this is the range that it's trading in. We want, if it breaks out of that range, then we got to wait for another signal. Otherwise, if it comes down and hits it, we're good. So we're boxing our trades in is what we're doing. All right, so let's look at a couple of these. Looks like we had some good thrust up there in price. This week it's moved from 54 to 57. May or may not close out. Kind of doubt it for the rest of the day. Not much action going on. Light volume. ECB. We're just looking around a little bit. So overall, not a bad week. get some follow through on it. We'll close out a few more positions next week, but they keep adding money. Maybe that's what happens. We have a new scan coming out on the weekend, so we'll see what happens. Got close there today, it looked like. Close is only good in horseshoes and hand grenades. So if we can get paid, we're not worried about it. That's why Y is continuing up. That was bought this week. Get some turnaround there. Oh, these are all really cyclical. We got AGNC powering up. Yep. It can go up just as easy as it can go down. So don't get excited when you see that going up. All we're looking for is something that's out of the ordinary. McDonald's, positive territory, pretty range bound. BCI still climbing. Check the ones that are actually trailing, or they're down on the day. Yeah, not much to do. Go back over here to Mosaic, see what changes. Getting some good up movement in this one. This one was hanging around in the $4 now. Last 4 or 5 months, it's really taken off to the upside. I don't know where the break even is on that one. What does it say there? $9.66, less than $10. So we're over within striking distance of it, but it's going to take a little time. Such a slow mover. But looks like they're increasing their dividends every quarter. That's a financial company, I think. Take a look and see their OCSL. And it's paying 7.6% right now, which isn't too bad. I'll take it. Obviously, we're way over on the max shares on this particular one. Let's see if we can find the chart on that. Yeah, 304, so we're about 200 shares over. Just haven't had the opportunity to unload them, but we don't unload them until we get a, what do you want to call it, above water. We can't take losses, so if we unloaded 2 right now, we lose, you know, $1,200. We don't want to do that. So we continue to pull in those dividends. You can see it's gone from 43 to 48. If that trend continues in June, let's just say it goes up another 3 cents, maybe it's 51. So 51 by 500, that's $250. Doesn't take long to cut into that unrealized profit and loss. That's why you never sell them, or at least that's why I never sell them. I continue to collect on them. You got to know which ones to get and which ones not to get. Some may be going out of business, but as long as they're paying dividends, I'm still a buyer. But I do pay attention to the max shares per contract. If I can get out or reduce them and just break even on them, make a couple bucks, that's what I'm all about, reducing that risk, reduce that amount of exposure. I'd rather have more cash sitting on the sideline than having a chance at losing. You can't be in a rush to get in the market, but at the same time, You have to have positions in to take advantage of it. TLT is still fading. It's okay. Let it do what it's going to do. You can't control it, so don't worry about it. As long as you're getting those dividends, you shouldn't be worrying. All right. For some reason I can't open up my Excel. Don't know what's up with that. There it goes. Just messing around with some yeah, we're still staying ahead of the curve. And that's what we'd like to see. So I showed this. This is where we're at today. So we get 380. This is basically since the first. We can see our total is 898.95. The predicted return should be 649.62 based on the curve on the chart. Let me see if I can. For some reason, it doesn't have the curve on there. But yeah, perfect. That's what we want to see. It's looking good. Just keep track of, what you're actually doing on a day-to-day basis. Good little tools. Or you can just look at your statements and figure it out from there. Sometimes it's just fun to play around with Excel. Pretty powerful stuff. But it's like anything else. If you spend your whole day sitting here watching this, trying to make money by, I don't know what you want to call that, kind of wishing it and trying to push it one direction or the other, it's never going to make any money for you. You just let it happen, let it come to you. Dividends start pouring in on different days. If you get paid every day, an average of $100 in dividends per day, you're doing pretty good. You don't have too many worries. That's not including your buys and your sells. If you're never taking losses, there's only one way the account can go, is up. People don't think it's possible, but I'm sitting here showing people. Even when this market turns, I'm going to show you how it continues to make money. Of course, it's not going to make money at the same rate, right? Because you're more than likely not going to have as many sells. But even when the market comes down, these accounts will make money. That's the whole key. Good times and bad times. It's pretty exhausted right now. It can only go so far in one direction, before you exhaust all your sells. Some people are sitting there waiting. They're thinking this market's going to go higher and higher and higher. And it might. If it doesn't ever come back down, then I'm going to be pretty light on positions across probably close to 12 different portfolios. Makes a huge difference. That's why you got to have the up and down movement in the market. So what are we sitting at today? 30. Well, the futures, Dow's up to 91, S&P 360, Nasdaq's down 84. Yep. And where's Bitcoin? Bitcoin's back down under 57. We might see a down move this week, after this week. You just don't know. I mean, I don't guess it. I'll be wrong. Yep, at this point, not much you can do. Just not a lot to talk about. It's probably going to be a nice weekend. Spring's starting to come across the United States. So best to get out there and start enjoying it. Get some fresh air. Don't sit behind the computer. Let the dividends pay you. Get those orders in there. Stop. Get them when you're supposed to, and sell them when you're supposed to. And you'll make money. Doesn't seem like it's possible you can get there, but if you have patience you should be able to pull just as much money as anybody else is pulling out of the market with the same size accounts. You know, some people, you know, they're going to put 50 grand into the market and just let it sit there, and they're going to earn their 5%. So they're going to make their $2,500 for the year, right? And that's fine. Ain't nothing wrong with that, but it's not going to grow very fast. You have to have something else going on. Everybody says, well, I just got to put more money in. That's the default mode. Putting more money in it is not going to guarantee you more money. It guarantees you a base, but it could guarantee you a big loss when the markets actually turn. That's the biggest thing facing everybody in the markets coming up. You know, if this decides to turn around, the people that don't understand the markets, their accounts are going to look pretty bad, you know, because it's still going to be unrealized, whatever. So if they're up, let's just say they're up 100%, right? And the market drops 50%, they could be back down to zero, right? 0% gain. Why? Because they didn't take any profit. They don't have any cash sitting on the sidelines because they're invested fully in whatever their employer, whatever they're told to be put into. They're just, you know, they're letting somebody else manage the money. It's the worst thing that you can do. You know, there's some out there, you know, that can help you, but if you don't manage your own money, nobody will ever look after it the way you do. It's your money. And to learn this stuff is not that hard, but it's the patience, um, you know, and accepting your situation. You know, get debt free. I mean, I know so many people that think they can make more money. You know, let's say they have $1,000 owing on a credit card. Instead of paying it off, they take that thousand and put it into the market and lose it. Well, they could have taken that $1,000, paid it off, and then that next paycheck, they get their $1,000, they throw it into the market and collect dividends, and it's only positive from that point forward. But if you're trading it, trying to make 10,000 out of 1,000 in 1 week, you know, unless you really know what the hell you're doing, um, you know, that's a tough road to hoe, and I don't know too many people that can do it. So there's some people online that, you know, I don't know. I don't know if they're real or not. If they are, hey, follow them. You know, see what they're doing, learn from them. But that's not my cup of tea. I like guaranteed cash. Cash on the barrel. Come on. You know I'm getting paid every day. No, it just might not be a lot. You look at these little accounts that I'm showing you, you're saying, oh man, you made $3.80 today. Wow. And you only profited $8.55 on that. And I said, yeah, well, you know, these three accounts now are up $900 in what, 11 days? Zero losses. You find somebody out there that's got zero losses. I mean, we're working on 11%, you know, increase. That's not bad in 1 week. We're talking in a week's time, not in, you know, a year. We're talking about money snowballing, money helping money. Once you get that money in your account, you redeploy it, then all of a sudden it starts making more money. It's just compounding. That's all you're looking to do is compound your interest. You got to stop thinking, you know, swinging for the fences. There's some people that are going to be like, yeah, man, I made $10,000 this week. I was like, what did that one guy say? Somewhere on Twitter, somebody actually posted this. He says, yeah, I'm 8 figures now. And I'm up into the 8-figure bracket now in less than 2 months. I mean, you have to think about that. He's gotten to 8 figures in 2 months. Okay, so he's basically saying he's got at least $10 million now. But he's posting it. And if you believe that, I mean, you can believe what you want to believe, but I find it hard to believe. And I think he was trading options. I don't know. And I think he was trying to say he was trading GameStop or something. I think it's likely that, he was probably trading a paper trading or a fictitious account, and maybe that's possible. I don't know. Um, but it's hard for me to believe that somebody's taking that kind of money out of the market. It just doesn't make sense. I mean, would he start with $1,000 and 2 months he's got 10 million? I mean, if some guy on Twitter can do it, don't you think the people on Wall Street are doing it? Just use some common sense. Don't get trapped by the hype. You know, take your money out of the market. The people that are actually making money in the market are the ones that don't say much. Just go to like stock gurus. Look at the portfolios. They're called portfolios for a reason. Traders don't really have portfolios. They concentrate on one or two underlyings, and that's what they trade. You know, options, maybe they've got 10, maybe 20, but you're trading futures, you're concentrating on one contract, maybe two if you got a lot of money. But I mean, you can end up with quite a few contracts if you're a player, and that means you've got to have a lot of margin. Which means you got to have a lot of money to start with. So if you're going in, you're trying to play the the small exchanges. Remember, leverage is a double-edged sword. It can pay you big and it can take it away big. So once you're down to zero, you got to add more money. When you go the other way, now you got money, right? So what do you tend to do? You try to go bigger, right? Well, it goes away quicker. So if you stay small, you can continue to grow it, but that's not human nature because you're scared to death of the downside, so you start betting bigger and bigger. It's a common problem with every trader. You've got to get around it where you say, "Hey, I want consistent profits, and I want to build my account where I don't have to work anymore." Look, they keep telling you need $1 million, and I'm saying you don't. I say if you had 200,000, just to say you had $200,000 in an account, earning 20%, right? 20% of 200,000. What's that? 40, right? It's 40 grand. Of course, you got to pay your taxes and everything, but we're just using round numbers. Don't think you can make 20% in the market? Well, just watch. I'll show you how you can do it. It's variable. It's not guaranteed 20%. I mean, you can get 25, you can get 13, you can get 10. It's still better than anything that you're going to get anywhere else, and for very little risk. The risk is in the market, but the risk is not. You know where the risk really is. It's not investing in dividend-paying stocks. It's free money. It's going to come to you. There's just a time factor there. You're trying to get as much as you can. So the more, look at the dates when they pay. Just go to dividends.com and look at the dates. Just spread the stocks out amongst the dates. They don't all pay on the same day. If you could own one share of every stock for the year, that would cover every day that they pay. See how much it would come to. Maybe it clicks a light bulb on that way. I can show you several different ways to invest in dividend-paying stocks. I just have a couple that I use because I've had them proved to work. It's not that it's more aggressive from one style to the next as far as strategies go. It's just what's more interesting. Some of my accounts, I trade them differently, and they have maybe longer timelines on them, or maybe I have different profit targets. You know, everything's a little bit different, but the quicker and the faster and the smaller that you can keep your account without, you know, going too small and staying within, you know, the margins based on the size of your account, and keep your trades boxed in. Uh, it's very hard to lose that way because they constantly are moving. Some just don't move very much. I mean, we're looking at this OCSL here. It doesn't move much at all. But when it does, you know, it just kept on climbing. So you look at a percentage move. What's it move from the bottom here to the top? Is that a 40% move? So it's just, you know, you just have to think about it. But anyways, that's it for today. I got to post this stuff on Twitter for the people that follow. But have a good weekend, and we'll see you Monday.